Start off with Alan from Sky Sports.
Sean, good afternoon. Not many dull moments at this football club, but the last 7 days has been very memorable for Evertonians. How were you feeling at the end of it all?
Very pleased, obviously, relieved in a different kind of way after a lot of work done through a lot of challenges this season. So thankful to the staff and the players for all their efforts, and of course the fans playing their part as well. So yeah, a very, very big week in not just the results, but the feel of the situation and how quickly it changes from a real heavy negative to a real heavy positive. And I think that's very pleasing for all concerned.
Shows a lot character. I assume you're referring to the heavy Chelsea defeat, but to bounce back like that in the manner you did was something special.
Yeah, a lot of work, as I said, done by all. Myself and the staff had to look at things as well and speak with the players, and then twist and turn things ourselves, including what is now the infamous decision to change a tracksuit, or a suit to a tracksuit, I should say. But no, we looked at ways that we were operating. So I'm really pleased and proud of the staff, because it's not easy. We believe in what we do anyway, and we had to dismantle some things and change some things and look at the planning and how we go about it. And then get the players to believe in that, and they certainly have done. A very tricky game against Nottingham Forest, and we've come through that. And then obviously a big game locally with the win against Liverpool, which was super pleasing with the performance and the win. And then a softer performance, but a very important one against Brentford to see ourselves right. So very pleased on many different levels, and that's just really the surface of it. There's a lot more to it than that.
It won't change the approach then at Luton on Friday night. This would have been seen by many as a really tricky fixture a couple of weeks ago, but you can be more relaxed and no fear, no pressure.
It still is a tricky fixture. I think they've done an amazing job. I think everyone had written them off from the start. The players, the manager have done a great job. I don't think my story would have changed on that, even if we were in a different situation. We have to go down there and perform. We want to, we put ourselves a platform now to finish the season strong. We want to do that. Certainly, I've already referenced it. I referenced it straight after the win against Brentford about taking the next one on, because, over the tough run that we had without wins, I did say that over a season it balances out with as long as you keep doing the right things. Well, we did keep doing the right things. 3 wins or 4 wins out of 5, and then we take on the next one. So we want that mentality to stay and go and take on the next one and go and look to win.
I know it's a team thing, isn't it? But defensively, you've been so strong this season with only the top 3 conceding less than you.
Yeah, it's a good base to work from. Obviously I was a defender, which, everyone makes it a really simple equation, but it's not that simple. You've got to get a whole team to defend, and I think we've done that well. At times we've found the right balance to open up and score as well. And that's a tricky thing, everyone knows that. But it takes the whole team's efforts, to work hard to defend, but equally to open up enough to go and play and open up enough opportunities to score. And that's been a bit of a challenge, although lately the mix has been spot on.
Calvert-Lewin didn't make it on Saturday. He's back training. Is he going to be okay for this Friday night?
We'll see. He was out on the grass today, so we're hopeful for no reaction, and therefore he'd certainly be in consideration.
We didn't see James Tarkowski out training today. Is he okay?
Yeah, he's his family are waiting on the birth of the child.
Right, so he'll be okay Friday night.
Yeah.
Great. Seamus Coleman was out there training. Is he going to be part of the squad?
Well, yeah, again, it's his first day, but he's had a few days with the sports science team. So we'll see how he fares tomorrow and see that there's no reaction.
And Beto is back after his
he's clear, yeah, he's clear and trained today.
Okay, it was all about the football until yesterday. Your plans for next season could be dependent on the takeover, maybe not.
I thought you were going to say my music career then, but anyway,
someone
we'll
else will talk about your music career. Is it impacting upon you, this takeover?
No, we're still waiting on more news. I spoke very openly about the simplicity of it. I met with them, the group once, and that hasn't changed, and we're just waiting on more news.
Thanks, Al. We'll go to Al.
Thank you.
I guess I'll be the person who talks about the music career. You spent most of the week outside of, obviously, the 3 important wins on the pitch, talking, like I say, about Tracksuits, Green Day, and now a music video. Has this been one of your more surreal weeks in football?
It certainly has. Some of it by design, the performances and the wins, I would hope. The rest of it is certainly surreal. The Green Day thing came out of an answer to a question via Stuart Pearce's Truth, and then when that went on to me and I told the story, and Green Day picked up on that, which is amazing. They are fantastic, make no mistake, along with many others I've seen. And then the music video was basically the lads I met at a Rick Astley concert, who's great, and saw them, and they just said, look, would you fancy it? I said, yeah, it's been a music video. How would you not fancy that when you're a music fan? They sort of gave me a rough feeling, not too much, just said, could you wear a suit? Could you turn up? I went, yeah, cool, thinking not quite sure how this is going to go, but great, really good group of lads and really good performance as well. I've seen them I think they were referenced actually. I saw them at the Isle of Wight Festival a number of years ago, pre-pandemic, and they were excellent. And they referenced the fact that I did another interview about music and said how good they were. Xabian were there, who were brilliant anyway, but I thought they were excellent. And they referenced it, said, would you come and do this video? I said, yeah, sure. So, yeah, really pleased.
The tracksuit caused a bit of a stir, you said, in the dressing room and with your daughter as well. How's this gone down?
Yeah, well, I mean, it's more the players who work with me, at previous club, they've seen me never wear a track as well, as in for a game. No, there was a bigger picture to it and a much deeper scenario. We looked at how we were coaching, the coaching styles, the way we were coaching, the planning and all the rest of it. And that was just a small thing. We thought, well, I want change from us and therefore that'll be a change from me. My daughter's getting my head around it. She's still a bit. My mum wasn't too happy. She's like, "I'll be in a suit." So I said, "All right, mum. For now, it keeps winning. So unfortunately, tracksuit's going to stay for the moment."
I think that shows the atmosphere at the club and between you and the players. And in your post-match after the win on Saturday, you listed quite a few of the players and also really nice things about them. Decore said last week that one of the things that has been really important to him and the other players is you quote showing them how much you love them. This seems like it's a squad you've really connected with.
Look, I think the bigger picture of football is a big challenge, and the thing I reference, my own son's involved in football, and I say, look, I speak to you as I would my own son. So if it's good enough for my own son, then I think it's good enough for you guys. And I do care about their careers. The reason why I was fortunate to get given a job at Watford by Eddie Boothroyd, and he always thought that I did care, and I do care. I care about their development. I care about them as people and their careers, and I've always maintained that. Of course, that you have to still mould that into a group that can win. I think I hope it's fair that they reference it, because I think deep down I ask a lot of them, and I put a big demand on them, myself and the staff. And, I think beneath that and some of the hard yards that come across, even with my voice and what I have to say to them sometimes, I think they know that I do care, and I do care about them. So look, football's an amazing career. And, of course, nowadays at this level, they do get rewarded. That's quite obvious. But it's still difficult. There's still a lot of pressure, a lot of stress, a lot of anxiety, and there's a lot of work that needs doing. And in there is a love and a connection that's important from a manager, the staff and the players.
Back on the pitch, and you've mentioned it already, Luton have been tricky opponents this season, 2-1 defeats in both of the games. What have you taken from those games?
Well, I don't think we performed as badly as the results, but the results are they're the facts. I think we're going against a team who are fighting. There's no two ways about it. They've had a really tough run of results. That can happen in the Premier League, in particular as the season wears on. I remember the first time I went up with Burnley, and towards the end of the season, it becomes really taxing at times. But I saw them, they're still fighting, they're still working. So we have to go there with the right attitude, because the Premier League's the Premier League. You have to go there with the right attitude, and we intend to do so. We want to take it on. We want to win. We want to finish the season correctly.
Thanks, Alan. We'll go to Julia.
Hey, Sean.
Hey.
Yeah, on that note, you've got 3 games left. There is a nice vibe around Finch Farm at the minute. You can see people are smiling and have enjoyed the last week or so. But how are you going to make sure, because I know just how you are, you will want to win those last 3 games, and you've got to say as well as how it pans out at the top and the bottom of the table as well in that. How are you still going about business and keeping it focused?
Yeah, I mean, we're finding that balance between, because at this stage of the season, the week, although it ends up being a fantastic week of 3 wins and 3 clean sheets and all the rest of it, it still takes a lot out of the players. So they've had a couple of down days, come in nice and bright. The feel-good factor has obviously affected everyone. And I think we want to use that to our advantage. It's not as simple as that, but the freedom comes back into your play, we hope, because obviously we've secured what we're the start point of the season, and then even more so with the points challenges, which was to stay up and move the team forward. And I think we have. If you add the points back on, I think that's clear. Now it's about using all the things we've learned and putting them into the last 3 games and delivering performances. But that's certainly the intention, without a doubt. Winning's a great feeling, and we had a spell of not doing. So to bring that great feeling back, then go and get another feeling like that. Go and win again.
all the rumours and reports this week about the off-field issues. I won't ask you specifically on that, but does it make it difficult for you planning this summer right now, given the takeover is still pending? Can you sort any contracts out? Do you have a transfer list or a list of players you would like to keep that are out of contract?
Yeah, I mean, you've got to, Kev, the staff, the scouts, everyone's keeping an open view because we're not quite sure of the financial side of things, of course, which way that's going to go. So we're looking at a broad view of what football offers you as regards players and contract situations and all the rest of it that goes with it. That's all we can do at the moment before narrowing down into the summer, which all teams have to do. It doesn't really change that much, not as much as you think. Of course it does, by the way, if someone comes along and says, here's an amount, of course that changes it. But most clubs at this stage of the season will be doing the same thing. They'll be open-minded, they'll be planning on many different scenarios, and then as the season comes to a finish, and then you start narrowing down into what situation you think you can progress with. So that's what we'll be doing.
Are you aware at this stage if you will have to sell for PSR purposes?
No, not necessarily. I mean, there's some obvious questions to be answered, but the possible new ownership might change things, and there's a varied amount of things that have to go into the PSR. It's not just that scenario.
I'm going to ask you about the Blossoms video as well, just before I finish. We've seen your character in it. I think the video is out today. Just talk me through your character. What was your motivation?
I wouldn't call it a character. Well, I don't think it's a character.
Yourself.
They just said, will you come and play this part? And I said, yeah, sure. We had a bit of fun about it. And, I don't know. They just asked me to do a certain thing.
That's right, isn't it?
Yeah. That's the basic premise, yeah. And then they have a few mishaps along the way. So I remind them they better get the job done type thing. Unusual that, eh?
Yeah.
Who would have thought it with me? Yeah, who would have thought it? No, look, I'm pleased. I'm pleased it's put some positive traction, or seemingly. Tom just messaged me actually for the lead singer, and he said, "Look, it seems to have been received positively at this stage." And I think they're on radio tonight at 6 o'clock. I think he said as record of the week or something. I mean, it's a good tune as well, which is helpful. It is a good tune, but yeah, no, look, I mean, for someone who's a big music fan and gig fan, then to be asked and to go in it was very pleasing and a good bit of fun.
Thanks, Julia. We'll go to Shemaine.
Hi, Sean.
Hi.
Last season went to the wire, the slow start this season, and then the challenges that came with it. Since you've been here, is this the first game that's not a must-win for you? Do you think?
Yeah, I know what you mean. It's been a very challenging period for me as a manager, and all concerned. But I take the hits and I take the good stuff as well. So. Yeah, I mean, it's nice to have a period of enjoyable, how can I describe it, enjoyable flexibility with what looks in front of you, which is, the obvious side of the results. They're not imperative, they're not must-wins, but they are very important to us as a group because I wanted to build a mentality that suggests every game is one, must-win that is, and I think it's paid us back in the end, and now we want to pay it back, to ourselves and to the supporters for the good work that's been done in the midst of all the challenges that have come our way. So, look, a really tough year or so that I've been here, but there's been a lot of work done by so many, and I'm pleased with that.
How do you switch from that more challenging times to now more relaxed times? You can enjoy the 3 games.
Yeah, I mean, I think it's more of a. After the games, the recent run of games, it's more as which is a bit awkward about the job, really, because it ends up being more of a relief in this case because all the noise, all the challenges, it's just like, we've done well to get that part sort of thing, rather than joyous, if I'm honest. But then it does bring the freedom to come into the training ground. As you referenced, everyone's feeling better about life. The fans are feeling better about life. I certainly am about my professional life, of course, and. But you got to still use that to your advantage. So we want that feel good factor to go into the performances. We've changed. Well, we're changing the story. It's not changed forever. We're changing the story. It feels more positive. I wanted that, and it's a good place to be. So, but to keep that story, you've got to go and win again, and that's just the challenge of football.
Have you told the squad to go out and enjoy on Friday?
Well, we're trying it. I call it professional enjoyment. So I said to the players, win, lose or draw, you've got to find a way of professionally enjoying it. It can't be, we're not talking about when you're a kid and it's, kids in the playground running around enjoying it in that way. There has to be a professional enjoyment in what we do on the training pitch and what we do in performances, even from some of the challenges, some of the real hard yards of what it is, tough runs and points taken away. You've got to find a fulfilment in what you do. And I think there's a lot of fulfilment in what we've achieved so far. Can we go and do it again? Can we go and replicate it? Can we go and win the last 3? No easy task, of course. But that's the challenge of football. How many can you win?
And just on the uncertainty of the takeover, it keeps getting pushed back. Now we're saying it's the end of this month. That could happen. Does it need to happen either way? Does it need finalising for some clubs?
It's out my hands, so I'm just waiting to see what the news brings. The powers that be here will be operating at that level.
Thanks, Shemaine. Well,
Sean, Lewis Dobbin plays on Monday night.
Say that again, sorry.
Lewis Dobbin plays Monday night. Is he all right to play, to be involved?
It's still early. He's had, I think, just around 6 weeks out, and he played about 65 minutes. I went over to the game, and he played about 65 minutes. So, but we'd like to try and get him involved sooner rather than later. Just before he got injured, he had a real chance of playing. We thought he was doing very well. So, but equally, we've got to be fair to him and his true fitness to deliver. If and when he plays, or if and when he gets on the pitch.
In these last 3 games, do you maybe have a look at players like him and some of the younger ones, or sort of think of taking?
I always have a look at a team that can win. Simple as that. That's always in my thoughts, no matter what stage of the season, no matter what league, cup games, all the rest of it. Looking at a team that can win, and that won't change. We've got 3 important games for different reasons now. As a reward for the fans, as a reward for us and all the work done. So now we want to take them on. So I'll be putting a team out there that I believe can win.
John Pickford still has an outside chance of winning the Golden Glove. What have you made of him this season? How much credit does he deserve? Because he's been through the thick of it from 2 seasons ago to now. I'm sure.
He's delivered performances, especially important performances. He's had a couple of things go against him, which can happen as a keeper. He handles that side of it well, stays focused on the job in hand, and he's shown that with some key moments rather than just performances. Because I must say, there's a team working very hard in front of him, and I think he believes in that team and how they work. But when called upon, he's made some important saves and delivered performances.
Does he deserve credit? Because I'm sure he could have, if he wanted to. He would have had suitors to get out ballots.
I think he gets a bit of credit, doesn't he? I think he gets a bit of credit. I think he certainly does have Evertonians, that's for sure.
In his loyalty to sticking around, because he probably could have left, if he wanted to.
Yeah, but there's more to a career. I think he's genuinely happy. I think he seems to me, when I speak to him, his family life is settled. He's settled in as part of Everton, the fabric of Everton. That's an important factor. He's still England's number 1. So, he's in a healthy place for himself and for, I think, his life meets his professional life. And there's always a balance there. That's an important factor. And players are settled in what their life is and with the club. That's a really good situation. And he certainly seems so to me.
And just when you touched on the summer approaching, do you think that using the free agent market, seeing what players are out of contract, will be important given the financial situation?
We'll see. Like I say, nothing's defined at the moment, but any club would be looking at the right end of the market if it costs less. That's just common sense.